full moon vibes. Scorpio meets Cancer meets gate 54. What does that mean? Definitely that we're not yet in the new year. So if everybody thinks that we're still in the energy of the new year, nope, still not there yet. So happy, emotional, exciting, deep, introspective, ambitious full moon in Cancer. Have my green juice here. I just did a little vibe and sound check on my stories. And I'm like, I want to just chit chat with you and check in. How are you feeling today? Because I don't have the energy to do captions and cut the things and, so I just going to press live. Who's on here? Luz ist on here, Lisa ist hier, Marion ist hier. Hi Marion! Marion, ich werde in München sein am Montag. If you want, wenn wir uns treffen wollen, wäre super schön, mal wieder zu quatschen. Ich bin die ganze Woche da. Have my green juice with some ice here. So, schreib mir auf WhatsApp, oder ich melde mich. Ja, sehr gerne. Sehr, sehr gerne. Das wäre super, super schön. Okay. Okay, a little bit of German talk. Marion is a friend of mine. We did yoga together. Oh, Anusara yoga. It was such a long time ago. Oh my God. It was such a good time. Such a different person that I was, right? So, who else is here? How are you feeling today, this full moon? So I feel a little bit tired not because of the moon, but it was a big, big week. And yesterday I was hosting my very, very first projector only call. A big focus on recognition of a projector. So these are regular calls for projectors only in business, projector entrepreneurs, business owners, coaches. And it was 3 hours and I was buzzing afterwards. And then this full moon, so I could not sleep, and a lot of things are still in the closing this week. So Cancer full moon, but definitely already Capricorn energy. And we're preparing for the actually new moon in 2 weeks, which will be the official start into really the energy of this new year. And so I thought about, I chat a little bit about the things to consider now on this weekend. What is here? Oh, I have, of course, I'm sitting on the edition of Vogue. It's an October edition, but still, I always get inspiration from all these cool, especially from jewelry. But we're not looking into the Vogue. I would love to, drop in the comments, how are you feeling it's today? And why is everybody new year and already ahead, but you still might feel slow. You might feel, Christina's on here as well, you might feel tired a little bit, and there is not this forward momentum that we usually expect with New Year's and all this. Tired and exhausted. Yeah. So totally normal. I mean, it is very dense, the energy with Mercury retrograde. We have Mars still retrograde, but I tell you, Jamila's here. Hello. Also German. This is a vintage piece, I gotta tell you. This is, yes, it's real fur, but it's vintage. So I did not, it's not a new one. And I have to be very careful. And I thought, you know what, today I'm feeling, it is, on the outside, it is kind of very cancery, a little bit softer, cozy. I love it for my touch cognition. But on the inside, it's the Scorpio boss vibes. I feel after, especially last night, I'm lit. So the style is lush and lit. Kind of feeling this. Lit for what I already felt for years with these projectors, leading them and disrupting this industry. Because, as I say, the manifestor era is over. Projectors are here to lead into this new cycle, and we got to step it up. Whatever your design is, we all have a purpose, and the projectors are here to play an important role, the same as any other type. But I'm a projector, so this is usually my main focus. And I want to ask you, because something very important to understand today, we have gate 54. So there comes this energy of ambition, ambition, ambitious, ambition, willing to set goals higher, right? This is now the energy already building, building, building. And next week with Mars going direct, we will be feeling on the 12th, be very prepared to maybe feel a little bit of a intense energy next week. And then whenever the energy is intense, I go like, whoa, I just lean back. I love intense energy. I mean, I do Ashtanga yoga. It's the most intense that you can do. So it's kind of my Scorpio. I'm double Scorpio in my design, so I love it. I love it. And this year is gonna be a fucking wild ride. And I'm in still preparation of this yearly forecast and the monthly energies of this year for the HD Club. And I'm so sure that this year is such a pivotal year for all of us that this is the reason why I intuitively created the HD Club, because this year is the year where you will receive a lot of opportunities for massive expansion. And now the question is, when everything will be expanded growth, but what is it actually that you do not want to grow? What do you don't want to have expanded? And that's why we do not feel this forward momentum now. This really big, expansive forward momentum comes when we have this timeline split in March. And there are a couple of planets and a couple of events happening in March, which will be huge. And when I always want to know what's going on so that I'm prepared and making the right decisions and know what is conditioning and what is my authority and what is really correct for me. Because this year, the decisions that we make, they determine the next 6 to 8 years. And so that means we go into the new cycle making those decisions. So what decisions you will make this year have an impact on your identity, your wealth, your success over the next 6 to 8 years. And in March, we have this big new era, the Aquarian era, starting 2023 till 2043. All the details, everybody who's in the club, HD Club, you get all the details and weekly forecasts and everything. But today, why this full moon is super important, and this is my invitation for all of you. Hi Maria, there are a lot of more people on here, so I'm doing a little riff on the full moon. I want to ask you, how are you feeling this full moon? What is your human design? And if you have any questions, you're very welcomed and invited to put this in a little question box. This is a sit and riff and talk about kind of my day, what I did, what I'm doing in this full moon, and why I'm doing things differently as always, and why I know certain information is very beneficial for you. So that's what we're going to talk about today while having a green juice. By the way, immunity is a very important aspect this year. Energetic stability, physical health, immunity when it comes to, certain viruses and certain illnesses, certain things. It's super important this year. Super important, because we will be facing something interesting. And then, of course, emotional stability. We're going into the closer and closer and closer to the timeline split in March. We're gonna, yes, absolutely love the way you see us projectors. Maria, what are you? Are you a projector too? I'm feeling very contemplative and relaxed. I'm a 3-5 sacral money gen. I have been with all sacreds every day, all day today, and one was my little nephew. And when you have such a little happy sacral money gen, he's a 3-6 on your hip, you're kind of buzzing when you get out of that energy. It's so fun. It's so fun. Like, just get around a happy baby and you're like, as a projector, it's like, oh my God, I just have so much energy. And then afterwards, I went on the call with my HD mentor. We were both projectors. Paulina, hi, another projector from yesterday's call. We were both projectors, and I was like talking. And so, where was I? Christina, can you please, when I have a train of thought, can you come bring it back? You see, now I'm hot, but I love this so much. How can you have emotional stability with emotional authority? Great question. Okay, Jamila, can you type this question again into this little question box? Thank you, Paulina. Type, please, Jamila. Everybody, put this in a little question box, because I want to pull this up, and then it stays up and it doesn't get shoveled down, because I will answer this in a second. Okay? I'm going to tell you it's just one thing that you need to know about this full moon. This full moon, and everybody who's in the club we will look into this new moon in 2 weeks, because the new moon is actually the beginning of the new year. It's the beginning of the human design new year. So today's the full moon, and I already felt it on the New Year's Eve, that this whole energy of this real forward momentum was not there yet. So this entire time until the 21st, 22nd, so 22nd is the new human design rave calendar. We go into the gate 41, which is my birth gate, and my birthday is on the 27th. So I already have a lot of amazing things planned for after 22nd or around that date. And now, until then, it's still cleanup time, closing the old year. Because when we go into the next year, it's all about massive expansion, and you will receive already now hints and signs where you might be resisting certain things that block you. And when we want to make more money in our business, but we're resisting certain areas. I was talking about this yesterday on the call about the fractal. Why the fractal, brings in new clients, it brings in opportunities, it brings in invitations for projectors. The fractal brings in all the things that you do want to respond to your sacrals. It brings the impulses, the downloads for the manifestors, where they get the urges to initiate. If that is not bringing you what you want, then usually there's something that is blocking that, and that is not just looking at the business. And yesterday in the projector call, we were talking about recognition a lot, and why do a lot of projectors don't feel seen and not recognized is because of this understanding how our aura works and how can we open that fractal. And this moon in particular is all this it's Capricorn energy. It's bossing things up. So while I look sexy and cozy, like this is black, this is boss energy, this is woman, this is feminine energy of I'm the creator. I am getting so clear about the next 6 months. So today is halfway point to the next new moon in 6 months. And I want to invite you to check off, really, have you done is your business, when it goes into massive expansion in March, you have to have everything ready for March and be super supported and hopefully know what is correct for you and your design. So when you want new clients and new, business opportunities, and even for me, I want to branch out. I was talking with my mentors about products and like physical products or a completely new business, more different way of mentorship, more consulting and advising of business owners. So I have a couple of clients that come to me, they have multiple businesses and they want to merge it into one, or understand how to lead them better as projectors, or how to kind of bring all these ideas as a money gen into businesses and how run them efficiently and that they don't feel like put in a box. And all this is advising. And as a high-level business consulting, I was doing interims management, so going into businesses for a little bit of time and reorganizing and then going out again. I want that back. Like this energy, when you feel something that comes up that was in the past and comes back to you, this is now the time to look at these things. And ideally, hopefully you do it with the understanding of the correctness of your design, so that everything is prepared for massive expansion after March, because we do not want to expand all the shitty things, right? Not even more clients that you don't see you, not even more exhaustion, not even more whatever frustration and anger and bitterness causes that feeling. Yeah. And so as a sign for what maybe needs to be look at what, if you're unemotional, what are you avoiding? Conversations, confrontation, topics where you prioritize other things instead of the things that really move the needle, but it's maybe not so fun, or your authority is not so lit up, but your authority is still a yes, we got to do it because you're a responsible business owner, and certain things you got to CEO it up. So if you put your suit on, your CEO hat, and you go like, okay, I want to make a whatever multiple six-figure business, expansion next year is incredible. You have to do two things, like clean things up, make decisions without emotions, not sitting over it. Really, even if it's scary, this is next year will be, and this is answering already a little bit of the question of Jamila, understanding that your mind, when next year is all about passenger consciousness. So if you're still talking about mindset or, trying to find clarity, there's still something to look into what really passenger consciousness and understanding your authority means. And the waves are just chemical processes. It's just information. And yesterday I was talking about mechanics. So all the projectors who were on the call understand now the difference between the feeling and emotion and mechanics, and what it actually takes to manifest and to be in the center of, to really open the fractal to the things that come in. This has nothing to do with becoming a match to what you manifest or all these floskels that are out there. It is pure mechanics. This is science. This is, when you learn it, is like math. You will never unlearn it. It is super simple and yet complicated to understand in real life, unless you have someone who can translate it into your business context. And this is what we were doing yesterday, and what that means with offer creation and getting the right invitations and how to structure your offers and your content, your marketing. This is all then a translation of these mechanics that are so unique for your design into your business. And when you understand that the manifestation with visualizing and everything is just one part to gain clarity, maybe what you want, and you write things out and you write, and then suddenly, oh, this is actually what I want. But only how do we manifest is by action. And the action next year has to be based on strategy and authority. The ones who understand passenger consciousness are the ones who benefit financially, publicly, like reputation-wise, impact. We will have a lot of things happening next year on the financial markets and crypto and new currencies and new opportunities, and new business opportunities will pop up. Like, there will be a lot of invitations coming. Like, the universe and life and your fractal comes with the opportunity. Here are 10 new clients here. And then my question is the back end of your business, are your structures ready to hold 10 new clients? Do you have the offer buckets ready for different investment levels? Do you have kind of self-enrollment strategies, the energetic funnel, not just funnels? Like, there are so many things, which is now until March to be prepared. And all of you, I'm so celebrating the projectors that joined the HD Lounge, because these are the things that we're going to focus on in these new spaces that I'm creating. Because I want to see more women being super successful this year. When you understand the mechanics, and it's not just I want to manifest, but what actually moves the needle. It's so much effortlessly, and you will be able to navigate the reality, because that's going to be Like when you sometimes have last year and it was a roller coaster of emotions, it's going to be a trip this year. Hi, baby. Hello. It's going to be a trip. So looking at what is real, what is not real, and if you are in the club, I will share what is not real and what is a stage. It's going to be interesting. Important is that you have everything prepared. Like get ready to be ready to be ready to be ready. And it's another thing you can look at is where do you want to be in 6 months? And instead of going further forward, look back. Do you remember, everybody on here, do you remember what have you done 6 months ago? And while you put this in the comments here, 6 months ago, I will look at the question that I hear in this little box. And 6 months ago, because what happened for me today was that this was a reminder. I was talking about I want to launch a physical product to my mentors. I was talking about, you know what, I'm so lit. This projector spaces next to the other spaces for other types is one that came up in particular 6 months ago with this new moon, the new moon in Cancer. So this full moon today relates to the new moon 6 months ago, and it is halfway to the new moon 6 months from now. So what started 6 months ago is now building and building, halfway point, and then when you really know and know what that is and are so certain that this is it. For me, for example, I said back then, this was actually 4 days, Christina, you remember, it was 4 days after Henry died. And then I said, fuck it, I don't want to run this business anymore. And I don't want to chase launch every month and every new master class and what is the next thing to launch to hold these high cash months that I had generated. And everything was felt, my body was like, fuck no, there is more, but I cannot hold more the way how I'm doing it. And that was the night where I'm like, what does all in mean? All in, action. What does it action mean? All in is a good energy, but what is tile? All in, if you trust yourself all in, how much time do you let go between the thought and the action? That is the sign. All in means I don't think anymore. I just lean in and leap and make that decision and then go, right? This is all in, absolutely, in all areas. How much all in are you on your health? How much all in are you on your relationships? How much all in are you to step into discomfort? This is usually where it's go like, I want to go all in, and then you have the situation. And this year, all in means here's an invitation, stop your business. So for example, if this year for me, someone came and say, you know what, here's an invitation to start a fashion brand, and I have no fucking clue about starting a fashion brand. And someone would say, okay, this is your opportunity. Let go of the coaching business that you have been building for 4 years, and this is your opportunity. If my authority tells yes, so I know how my spleen communicates with me, and a spleen is never a yes. A spleen is always a, this is healthier. And so it's more a no to this one, because that is not where we thrive. So if my spleen would say, that is healthy, that is correct for you, it means I gotta trust this. This is all in. Where I say, okay, I you will be then seeing a live stream and say goodbye, and I'm gonna see you somewhere, and I already know the name of my fashion brand. If I'm gonna open one, I have the name already. This is all in for me. And then I started all over again. Would you be willing to do this? Yeah, because business growth is such a big, amazing goal. It's incredible. Okay, business growth, great. What does it mean? What does it mean? How much are you willing to say no to relationships and say, okay, I'm gonna focus all my time to it, and I'm not meeting anyone for some time because I'm just studying, and projectors need a system. So you gotta study your system. You gotta double down on mentors, like hire 3 mentors instead of 1. And what is the act? These things need to be broken down in actions, and you get invited into these actions. When you say, this is my goal, the universe always brings this to you, right? And then there's certain uncomfortable situations. I'm like, okay, am I still all in? And I'm still all in, and I'm still all in. And this is exactly the challenge. And so many, and I know you are not that, Paulina. I know you're all in because you take that action. But so many, especially the last week was New Year. Like, I'm all in. This is going to be my year. And then even today, like, oh, I don't know. I'm not so sure anymore. Where is actually my all in, right? So I'm very excited, Paulina, for this next year. I want to start my business. Great. Exactly. And it's never too late. I say in financial independence is this year more than ever the must. Like, this is, you got to have the check in the box. I mean, not that check, like here, check. This is what I focus on. Have to. For me, it was, I don't want to be just, I said goodbye to coaching. I stopped all my programs. I'm not running programs anymore, and I built my business completely in my design. I got invited after that decision into studying source material. I got invited by incredible mentors, meaning they said, okay, we're going to take you on as a student, and got access to resources that are not purchasable somewhere. And the way how I learned this is completely different. There's a lot of physical mutation happening. And then I, with my expertise now, do something nobody taught me, which is, as a sixth line, I run my business as a mentor. So the things that I only want to do is I just want to get on, I just want to speak. I just want to be my sixth line, like here now, sharing, getting questions asked. You got to pull that, invite me into a conversation, consulting, giving advice. I'm not here to run programs. That is not what we projectors do. We guide. And so my entire business, I changed into a human design business model that works for me. And I do never ever teach this model to anyone else because it doesn't work for anyone else, just for me. But this understanding, this experience, I apply to my clients. And if you want to build a business, and so many clients come to me with either they have already made multiple six figures and now go like, we're going to do it again. We're going to do it all in my design. Let's start new. It's the same starting new as, like you said, I want to start my business because it has to be in design. This is the only way how you can be sustainable. And that's why the HG Lounge is for you to create your first 10, 15K months, and then premium and the higher mentorship spaces is to go beyond that. So everything is where I just guide and have my eyes on my clients' charts and their businesses and their social media and all these classes. Yes, there are classes, but it's not that, hey, here's a 2-week program. I mean, whoever got really the results out of a 2-week program? Yes, they're all little steps, but now everyone, and your clients included, want individualized solutions, right? And you want to be having a sustainable energy and understanding how you're meant to work with your clients in the most ideal way so that your energy is high, and that then, like I just got asked, when certain things happen in the outside, you still are stable. This year is about stability. And the ones, it's going to be this year already, when I look into it, it feels like high tide. Can you ride the wave or not? You either are hanging sick over the side and you're kind of throwing it all up, or you just enjoy the high waves because we're used to riding the waves. You don't want to be thrown around, especially by false programming. To understand what is the Maya. Have you heard about topics topics, human design topics of the Maya, the program, fractals, mechanics, Bardo, your motivation, substructure, cognition? Amazing, baby. Amazing. Yes. Exactly. You're on the right momentum. So we have 3 months to merge, right? So now it would be great to look into, what do you want to be? Like what kind of, what do you feel you want to teach and coach and make money with, right? And then find a mentor who can translate that with regards to your design. That would be ideal. And then you have it way easier when your offers match your BB. What is your design? I think are you a projector? You're a projector, right? I think I saw your little bubble. You're a projector, yeah? I think so. So the HD Lounge is actually a 3-month mentorship. It's a 3 or 6 month mentorship. And so if you're interested in it, you can go to the link to my bio, and there is information about it. And if you have any questions, you can ask me about it. There are 3 spaces left. Maybe 2, no, 2, maybe 3. Let's say it this way. Money Gen. Okay. It's for all types. It's not just projectors, it's for all types. But I only take 5. So today, 1 projector joined, 1 projector is already in, 1 projector is riding her emotional wave, and there are 2 other spaces for whatever type feels that this is correct for you. Theta, hi! She's a projector as well in the stage. Okay, let me look at the questions and then we're going to close it. Maria said, I'm fascinated about source material, mental projector. You always mention source material. Okay, is your question, Maria, source material? So source material is original teachings and lessons from Ra. Ra-Uru is the person who received the voice information on Ibiza from the voice. And you can go to JoanneArchive.com. That's the main official, this is his platform. He founded it, he created it, and there are some lectures, and you can purchase all your relevant, for your design relevant. However, I talked about this yesterday. So the material that I'm studying that is not purchasable somewhere, it goes way deeper, and I'm in mentorship to learn it because it has to be, you cannot just read a book. So yesterday, and everybody who was on the call, the projectors, maybe you can share something that there's a difference when you're in the room with someone and you feel the mutation happening and you feel on a cellular level something is happening. And this is where mechanics work. You don't need to do anything. And that's the difference. When you read a book, you try to mentally rationalize it to understand it. But that's the point. You cannot understand it. It needs to be translated by someone who has 4426 in certain context, whether it's in your relationships or in your business. For me, I translate and I bring that into the business context, into health. So health will be this year as well something that I bring into the lounge as well and into my client spaces, because immunity is key, and performance with your digestion type, and it supports everything. Like, we need to look into the finites, and so there is information there from source, but then how do you apply it in the correct way in your daily life? And most importantly, what my spleen does. Spleen is all about what is not healthy, that we cut that out, right? And I'm German. Oh yeah, Paulina, yeah. So imagine one call worth 3 hours, and then if you're in that energy the entire time, then you are welcome in my, like, this is being in my world. That's like how I feel all the time. It's a good feeling, right? Hi, Stella. Hello. Yeah, absolutely, Jazz. Like here. That is such a good analogy, guys. But don't get fooled. I'm not, like, there's a lot of Scorpio fire in me. Stella, hi. So I was at source material. So the point is why I said that yesterday. The main reason why most people who find human design not really are that successful in business, because they do not know really how to translate it in an actionable way. And for me, with my spleen, I go to my clients' businesses, I look at it, and when we cut out everything that they're doing usually too much, all this industry is talking, do you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this, but it's all universalized, it's all homogenous. It's not always one size fits all, but it's very, very, very a lot, too much, way too much. I can say here are so many people live, and all of you watching the replay, you're doing way too much. No matter which type you are, it can be way more streamlined, way easier, way cleaner. And my spleen this is how it works. I'm like, okay, this is not healthy, this is not healthy. We cut that shit out. I'm German, I'm projector. I go through all of that. I just look into the essence of it, which is the more you do about of the things that really move the needle, the more successful you are. So why should we do all the other fluff and stuff that is not working? And it's just cutting that out. When you have so many offers, we package it together, we build it into a stack of offers that stacks the income, and people are upgrading themselves without you need to sell. That feels so much better, right? And you have more time to do your genius. So for me, I just want to create more. I want to be more out and about and travel, this year as well. I don't think that we're going to travel so much. Better not, but that's a different conversation. Hello, I just found you today, and thank you so much. For what? And welcome, 6-2 projector as well. Like so many 6-2 projectors here. Must be some mechanics that are working, huh? So, welcome. You missed our projector call from yesterday. The replay is still up, so if you want 3 hours on recognition, it was incredible. I think I'm gonna listen myself back to it because it was so good. So that is my answer to source material. It is mainly something, there comes a moment where I wake up in the morning. This is how I use it. I wake up in the morning, and then I know, is today a day where I study in the morning or at night? So sometimes I have silence mornings. Sometimes I thank you. Sometimes I study it at night when I go to bed, and then I have cross variables, so I just listen to it while I go through my day. I don't have to focus. I just receive it, and that's why I say it's super important that you ask me questions, because yesterday in the call I did not know, I did not prepare. I just, in my 6th line, I shared my experience. My 2nd line is so confident in just delivering the best class ever. And then next week or next time when we do the next one, it's going to be even better. That is, and then whatever comes out is what the participants need to hear. That's why it's hard for me to sell it and to describe what we're going to do, because we're going to do something and some more. But this and some more, I actually can write the page about what you get and what is included in the class more afterwards than beforehand. And I know so many of you are working in the same way like me by now, right? Coming from embodiment, so you do the same. But how do you market this still? And there was a big shift for all projectors yesterday in this, what you actually sell and what you're promoting. And this was the biggest feedback I got from most people. And then you have to stop trying to understand human design and rather understand how to have mutation happening. And when I talk about mutation is, Ra says, not without a reason, that it takes, oh yeah, thank you, exactly, yeah. So that clip about responding, that was really good. And we deepened that about, yesterday's call was all about recognition. how do projectors receive the correct recognition for the correct invitation. And Ra said that they're projectors, but most of them are not correct projectors because you don't understand how the mechanics of your aura work. And mutation means it is a cellular level that happens in all of us when we study design. We study it not by reading that book, and you know where my tripod is standing on. Of course, a human design book, but my touch cognition actually touches the book and receives information without me even knowing it. It sounds crazy, but it's not. And some of you get it, right? When you get it, you get it. And so mutation means that it is a physical change of the cellular structure and cellular information. So every cell has information and a frequency and the cell's renewal. And so cells have cellular memory. And these patterns, the not self patterns that we talk about in human design, they sit in the cells. So you can know as much as you want to know about design and even your patterns, and even saying, I want to, live more my design. But what actually changes, and only mutation happens through two things, acoustics and aura to aura. So you have to have someone who better speaks it out, not you even, not only listening to Ra's lectures. There must be a conversation that ideally a projector identifies where's the not self, where's the block. We see it right away. And only a projector who can correctly sees it. That's the point. There is a certain tendency or natural gift of a projector to the aura does its thing, the manifestor's aura does its thing, the generator's aura does its thing, but the more conditioning we receive when we grow up, the mechanics of the aura get distorted because the not self patterns take over. And then mutation means you change on a cellular level, and that happens usually through, some call it ascension symptoms, or definitely physical symptoms. And it is like getting something pressed out of the aura. And that's why it's important to understand your PSH and eat correctly for your type to support the detoxification process. And when there's a mutative cycle happening, then you really change on a personal, physical level. Your personality, you become a different. You see, even like when you scroll through my page, like I can see mutation happening. Like it transform. It's not just that it's a new identity. It's a new version of me. It's really now, when mutation happens, when you do not feel a physical charge anymore about something that would have triggered and pulled the emotion. This brings me back to Jamina's question from the beginning. How to navigate emotions this year is understanding mechanics and where's still your not self, because you will then can discern, this is me processing information. What is the solar plexus? It's an awareness center. It's a motor. It is you are mutating others. Like this is then your moodiness, your emoting, all these, why you're craving sugar more when you're in it, and what not to eat when you're in it, so that you don't get caught up in even more of this. It's really subtle, and this is nothing what you will learn. This is in a textbook. This is something what you'll learn from people who have been there, who receive the information. It's really interesting because it reminds me so of my yoga trainings, which I did not learn so much from teacher trainings, but really going into the shala and learning from the guru and sitting with them and listening to them, these ancient traditions that get passed down by teacher to student. And this reminds me since studying design, really. And then suddenly you feel like, oh my God, this is different. And I now can go, and when things happen, when everything crumbles, how calm can you stay? and you feel everything falls apart, because as soon as you mutate, your fractal will change and your business can suddenly break down. Can you still stay calm? Can you do you understand what's going on? Do you have someone who explains you what's going on? Who are you talking to? Because people that are the 5 people in your penta you're most talking to, they are conditioning you most. So if you do not have someone who speaks design, if you really want to get into design, then this got to be one person, because otherwise it's so hard. It's so hard. I felt so lonely doing that alone. And now most of my people, my clients, are in design as well, but it took some time until that changed. Let me just scroll up the comments and I want to look at some questions. Gene Keys was on my bookshelf for 3 years before I opened it, but I was channeling it through my content. Clients called when I opened the book. I was blown away. That one I knew. I do believe that it's not, I don't believe that it's channeled through the book. I think it is one person who wrote the book, but the information so many people on this planet hold in their cells. And it's just that someone materialized it into a 3D form of a book. And you could also have written the book. And that's why I say, if you have an idea to write a book and then suddenly you find a book and you think, oh, I could have written this book. Yeah, but you did not. Why not? Because that person trusted themselves and they went all in and they had courage and did it. And we will see these things happening. People will blow the fuck up this year. The ones who are preparing, who are maybe the second row right now, the first row in this coaching industry in particular, will crumble, and people will be looking to different other coaches. And so this is the time to now go really absolutely Theta. You know, the thing is, Theta is in this stage in my projector 8-week one-on-one, and the interesting, when I bring in old videos, 6 months ago, right? 6 months ago. Then I'm like, yeah, should I give this to them? Yes, because you see me transforming as a 6 line and the content is still good. The teachings are good. It was already in me, but it was not fully in my physical body. Yeah. Absolutely. That's a great question, Theta. Okay, so is Ra based in Ibiza? Is that why you went there? So Ra's dead. Ra is not alive anymore, first. And then the second thing is that the voice came to him and pressed the information within 7 days into his system. It was a very brutal, very painful, very, 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 very hard 7 days. And all who were with him was his dog. And he was deeply traumatized afterwards. So it's not that, he channeled that. No, there is no channeling. Unless you have the channel of surrender like me, you do not channel anything. So this whole spiritual mumbo jumbo around in human design is not correct. You can do the mumbo jumbo in the spiritual industry, yeah, but not in design. There's no channeling. Okay, so that in that night, because of certain cosmic constellations, the voice, whatever you want to call it, definitely not from this planet, and energy not from this planet, came. And Ibiza is a very, very cosmically and energetically important point on the earth grid. And in that night, a couple of men on that island received or talked about certain or similar experiences. Same like Ra, same thing, absolutely. But the point is, they all died. And I was actually interesting that you asked me this. Exactly, yeah, it's sci-fi movie, absolutely. And the point is, I was actually talking about this to my mentor today on our call. Um, Interesting that Theta asked this question when I'm talking now about it. It's not no coincidence, right? Because I do believe that the reason why I'm living so isolated here, the reason why I'm eating super clean, the reason why we both have surrender defined, and we both are now feeling drawn. Like when it's so interesting, we're even talking at the same time, at the same date, like yesterday or the last days, about why immunity is so important right now. And I'm thinking I always wanted to do a tonic recipe book, or even a product, like a physical product. I don't think that I'm gonna go into physical products, because the supply chains over the next years gonna more collapse than getting better. And so, yeah, Stella, so the experience that you have is more receiving information. Channel of surrender is the 4426. You don't have it because you don't have the ego defined. But it is a physical, everything that you have defined and everything that you have open is a genetic definition of you. Now, the same, like I have red hair, you have black hair. It's just a difference. So you have a different life experience going through the world with black hair, and I have it with red hair. And this is the same with our definition. You have a different experience around receiving information and expressing information. And then there are people who have the same experience about, oh, I receive information, I process it, and then they come up with one word. And one word doesn't cut it because it's so differentiated. And there's a terminology, which is vocabulary, which you learn when you speak source language. Then it's channeling only tied to the channel of surrender, which is a transmitter, which takes information that you receive and it translates, it channels it into something that gets expressed, that someone else hears it. And you are doing it as well. Like a lot of people are doing it. I'm just talking. I'm not saying you're doing something wrong. I'm just saying that I look through everything and at everything through the lens of design. And I'm want to very much, as everybody who is in my clients and everybody who's in my world, I want to be as best as accurate to educate in design language, so that you know how to use this. As well, when I talk about correct means differentiated in your definition. What means correct for me is I fully live my strategy, my authority. My authority is, and then also through my definition. And when I just stick with my authority, correct for me means splenic authority. Correct for you means emotional authority. Okay? So when you use this word, oh, this is correct for me. And I say, yeah, what does it actually mean? It means you really live differentiated. You can hold your authority when you're with your parents at home. And now everybody knows how fucking hard this is, because Christmas is just 2 weeks away. Suddenly you're homogenized. Suddenly you're more the conditioned little girl or boy at the table and not the grown-up woman anymore. What is happening? Right? You do things that are not correct for you. You're not living differentiated. And that's the point. You can learn all the things about design. You can live it in an ideal scenario. But if you cannot live it, and this is what this year will be a lot of about after March, if you cannot live it when everything else goes into this direction and you got to go into this, can you live it in other auras? Can you live it in brutal media narrative, and they want to make you believe this is real, and you go like, no, my gut tells me, my spleen tells me something else. Are you willing to do this, or are you still following a external authority? I mean, we saw so many people following in 2021 external authorities, and now no better. Yeah, so this year gonna be crucial. And I want as many of my clients be as successful as possible because, and this is what we talked about today as well, is success, wealth is health. Wealth means freedom of choice. Wealth means you're independent. You can make money. You know how to make money. You don't rely on anyone. You can say fuck it. Even if internet goes down. Exactly, Stella. Exactly. This is how I feel in my family. Exactly. Absolutely. And it's no wonder that you're my client, right? Yes, it is that. So many are experiencing the same. And yet, it was exhausting. It was still exhausting, right? So this is kind of the next level of being in others' conditioning to still feel very highly energized. And so I was talking to my mentor today why I'm following my body's I have passenger consciousness. I'm existential. It means I don't think, is this correct for me? I'm just doing it. And if it means that I eat for 1 year, there was year 2020. Yeah, I think it was at the end of 2020 going into 2021. 2021 was a year where I nearly ate only apples. Apple sauce, apple juice, apple. And now I'm studying that, and I know that this was just a lot of detoxing. And so, you quickly there comes this, oh, but this is unhealthy, and this is just one single ingredient, and blah, blah. But I have cold thirst first. And then I also know that because we have so much in our cells, so to really step into your design, the cells must be clean. Otherwise, the mutation doesn't happen. And then you can say, oh, I'm in my 5th, 6th year of design. But it doesn't mean that after the clock strikes 7 years, you're done. And then you're fully deconditioned. That's why Ra said there are 4% who find design, and then 4% of the 4% will be successfully thriving in 2027. And that's why I'm getting always so sad. And so, this keeps me awake at night. Like, how can I get more people successfully into their design? Translating that. Yesterday after the call with the projectors, I know you all need more practical, fast, actionable information. And my 26.4 is censorship. That means I rather take away human design information from you and give you only the one that you need to bring that offer to the market that actually sells, instead of giving you all the information. Because the mind is usually still too strong to want to rationalize it and bring it into, yeah, but I also know this, and I also know this, and what does it mean? And so instead of taking the action and really holding down onto strategy and authority and learning it and practicing it, and then the next bite, the next piece. So this is how Channel of Surrender works, to give the required information to the tribe, cutting out the others that is not required for now. It comes in later so that you can thrive. If there's too much, you're just overloaded. And this is what I see right now. Too much information, too little integration, too little actions, too little results. It's pretty simple. Yes? So to answer the question of Theta here, I come back in a second, Paulina. So it's a good question. So how do I know which quad we are and how it's relevant, quad left or quad right? So you see the variables, the arrows on your chart, right or left, in which direction. These are variables. This is your cognition. And quad left just means that it's all to the left, and quad right means all to the right. But I have cross variables, and then you all have the different directions. And so there are lectures on human design on Jovian Archive, and you can purchase your lecture. But definitely on our next the stage call, I can look at your chart data and I can tell you a little bit more about this. Again, I will give you the relevant information that is required for you to understand it in your context, because this is what I love most. I know Theta is a spiritual singer, and she's also making shifts in her career right now, and we're going away from teaching so many people to more performing and more exclusive one-on-one support, and maybe even looking into membership. So how does actually the variables are relevant in the context of you now running your business in your design? This is how my brain doesn't work. This is how my channel works. But as a projector with a head definition, I have business ideas, and then there's my business background, you know. And this is how what we do in the stage and in premium. The reason why here, Paulina, the reason why the program is crumbling, the cross of planning is coming to an end. So everything that was built on the cross of planning principles gonna crumble. That means any systems, any big systems that are built on a same principle is not differentiated. It is not serving. It's highly, there's the energy of collective. It's all based on community, which is more false community, because there is a very universalized, a lot of these big leaders that we see are fifth lines. So they broadcast out, they bring a concepts into this space that serve many. But now we go into the new cross that is all about individualism. And people ask, okay, I invested that amount of money and I still don't know what does it mean for me. Who else felt that after taking certain programs, I still don't see these results, or I see them but I cannot sustain them, or it feels not good for me and I kind of have to force myself into it? I don't really get it. How, especially projectors, it doesn't mean like how. So projectors, and you are now into this new era. So fifth line means also practical advice. And you have a fifth line body. So you have a third line personality. So for you, it is more about your practical experience. Stella is also a 3-5, but she's a manifester. You know? So it is, your body is doing something, and you will grow more into your fifth line. We all go more. You think you are a third line. You think you are I think more that I'm a sixth line. So I see more that everybody who wants to offer something, it comes through your expression. It comes through your personality. Is how you market. It is your brand as well. So people perceive you. Yeah. So I'm a 6-2 as well. So we all, in our entire integration of our design, it is about getting more into the body. And the body is your second line. It's your fifth line. It's not your third line. You have more awareness about all the life experiences, all the bumps in the road, all the innovations, all the new things you tried, the experience and the experiment for third line. For second line theta, you're so natural in it. But now it's about universalizing the big energy as projectors, big energy out there, practical approach. And it is about for the individual. It's all about practical approach. Universal means for a lot of people. Your fifth lines, you're here for meeting strangers. You're here to bring offers into the world. You don't need a personal relationship to them like fourth lines. You know? As well, the same with sixth lines. Like we can reach more people. To be honest, Paulina, I remember design more than were names by now, or always. Names were never like, I remember the little bubble, the internet bubble, but if you change your photo, I'm kind of fucked unless you have your design somewhere. So once you tell me your design, then I'm very sure that I remember that. So it's really, people want practical approaches. People want individual approaches. But in order to give them the best offers, you got to understand and live it yourself first. And we are very quickly to, projectors can only understand and learn about themselves by another projector, because we cannot look at ourselves, right? And to get better at becoming ourselves, we need someone else who guides us, any type. This is what Ra said, you're not meant to do this alone. And Ra brought this, Ra was a manifester, 5-1. And he brought it in here, and he got it, and this was actually the point that I wanted to bring to an end. You have to understand this the voice brought it into his cells within 7 days. It is nothing that he channeled and then he had it written down and it kind of tried to, he had no clue what it is. But he got implanted a third crystal which held this information. And this crystal got it into his cells, and then suddenly, that's why he changed his name. And then suddenly he speaks about things that he had no idea. And he was deeply traumatized, and he had to really understand this and what this means and how to bring this into the world. And so what I understand now this year, and why I'm so clean in my energy and my cells, is that I was in Ibiza, and I received, and 6 months ago, in that 2 days before, like where Pluto hit my chart, 2 days before this new moon that is connected to this full moon, I had a traumatic event, and then I got into Source. And I do believe that also a part of my crystal got, something happened with it. I have no confirmation, I just have a knowing. And so some things that then happened afterwards was really, it's kind of as I was taken out of a certain timeline onto another one, and it's like, okay, you're not meant to do this anymore, we want you here, we need you here. And all of you have certain eras in your life, or things happened this year that you got into a new direction. Last year was the year of destiny. This year is the year of the invitation. So all of you who are in the HD Club, get excited about the update that I'm preparing, because what does invitation mean for you this year? Exactly. So what I feel, a sense of obligation, or like a rushing river that I feel pulled under by when I'm with generators. My agenda, does it make sense? You feel of what? A sense of obligation. You might feel they're sacral to go along with, but it's over empowering. Energy coming from me. Yeah, you take up, you absorb their energy, absolutely. You absolutely absorb. So the HT Club is my membership, and the information is as well in the link in my bio. It's a monthly membership. So definitely this year is a year where I'm fucking excited to share all these things inside there, so that you are all prepared. And it's also kind of like brushing your teeth is for me knowing this information, because it's just what you do. It's understanding your energy better. It's just part of your identity, right? We are all people who brush their teeth, hopefully. So one thing I wanted to come back to, Martha, is when you say learning from generators, MGs was exhausting to me. Yeah, this is what we all agreed yesterday on this projector call, because they condition you to do something that is not correct for you, and it is what it is. They didn't know better, and you don't know better, but that means that you have to let go of any concept that you learned from coaches, and no projector coach, no successful projectors out there that is correctly teaching or living their design. From the big ones, they are projectors, but they're not living it. That they are successful, but not in through design lens in a way that is correct. And so what they teach and what they bring out is still self-serving, even though they create communities. It still serves someone, right? Learning from ANGs makes my head spin. all we non-sacrals go like, absolutely. I mean, I have a defined head, so I get them. I can even help them to structure all the messiness, right? They're not messy. Okay, let me just, we got this. Okay, Paulina asked a question. Is it possible to join the HD Lounge in a few months? Is it ongoing? So it's a 3 or 6 month commitment. I don't know if what I'm doing the next month, I'm existential. It can be that I say tomorrow I'm doing something completely different. And then if I still do it in a couple of months, I only take 5 people. So if the seats are taken, the seats are taken. That's all I can say. But if it's correct for you, you will know it. And if it's not now, then you know that as well. And that's okay. Jamina, I very often feel deeply time pressured when listening to your sharings and insight. Do you know why this happens? I would so much love to relax and calm down right now, but it's frightening me to miss the chances. Ooh, that's just, oh my God. But I do not want to make any decision out of fear. Oh, okay. That's a great sharing. Thank you so much. Are you still on here, Jamila? So what I know is that when I speak truth, and I do not rush anyone anymore into any of my spaces. So when I feel like I just shared with the other answer, right? For me, it is the work that I do is so powerful that the decision you have to lead yourself from power and from a yes, even if it is scary, even if it's a whatever, like, oh my God, like, how can I do it? It's going to be big, right? But it is no pressure. I do not want, because you have to be open and willing for mutation and to fully step into your power. So I always support trusting your authority, but I also know that the longer we wait, the mind is still so strong that it talks you out of the body knowing. So drop into your body. Whenever you doubt yourself, drop into your body, do a practice, do a meditation, go into nature, then you will feel it and come back to this knowing. And then you can come to me and say, you know what, I want this, and it's fucking scary. And I can say, you know what, I invested for a full year this year as well. I have 3 mentors. It is scary because we do not know what's coming. But what I do know is that I want to get better at being a projector. I have a knowing that this is meant for me and this is what I trust. And I join these people because they help me when things get shaky, and they help me when I question myself. And so when I do it alone, I question myself, and then I'm fucked because I don't get out of this questioning. When I'm doing it with people, I will also sometimes question myself, and I'm afraid, but I always know who to call. I always can pick up my phone and have a community and say, hey, are you feeling the same? And they go like, yes, that's a transit, or yes, you're just under this, whatever, it's not you. And that gives me stability. Do you see the difference? So when you feel pressured, when you feel kind of, let's say, nervous, you feel a nervousness, that is an urgency, that something in you is saying, it's damn time, girl, to step the fuck up. And you're hanging around in my world and not joining anything yet because of a certain pattern. And you can ask yourself, what is this pattern? I always ask myself, who would benefit if I'm not successful? Who would be envious, At the early stages, the voice was saying, your sister. You cannot be more successful or whatever, right? So there's a conditioning of something in you that is not you. Or maybe Sam was talking about it today, that she was afraid to get even more successful to outreach her family, to get out of her social setting. That was never a point for me. But I know that we as women have certain thoughts and self-sabotage patterns that are not from us, they're from our mothers, inherited, because this lineage of women have been conditioned to stay out of that power. And I do believe a lot of people now feel there's a power in me, and it is always about your authority against the program. And this is, no matter how deep we go into our deconditioning, the program will always try to get you out. And you will see the program this year dialing up those narratives on the outside so that you believe, oh, I'm in danger. I better stay at home. I don't make this move. And this is what they want. And so that is important to have people around you so that when these situations come up, you can stay grounded. You have your people. Okay? And so the nervousness that a lot of people feel right now is something, it's your magnetic monopole pulling you towards it. And when you have to make that decision for yourself. And Ra said back then, it's like, yeah, people will feel it, people will see it, but it doesn't mean that a lot of people will fully live it. And that's your choice. It is really what you have to decide for yourself. There's something in for you. Trust that feeling. I love that you said I'm existential. My energy wants me to honor that, but responsibilities push me to make choices like a generator. So existential means you make no plans. Existential means I'm sitting here and talking to you. Existential means I have a shit ton of work to do, but I feel this is my body is still not pulling me towards something else. My spleen still not says it is healthier to stop this live and now go to bed. This is existential. Can you do this? So if you have responsibilities push me to make choices, you have to change those responsibilities step by step, not all at once. You cannot do it. You cannot deconstruct something that you have built over years after one live stream in 1 hour or in 1 day. This is me. It's like, okay, I have this big vision. I have these plans. Fuck, we have a shit ton of work to do, but you also have to be in a good energy to do them. So take one thing. What is one thing that you can change? And sometimes responsibilities are also supportive. So if you're in a job and it gives you money, resources, especially for projectors, you get resources from a job. Use these resources to become a better projector and invest in your education and in human design. And so the job is then good for a while, even though maybe it does not fully support your projector being, your projector design, but you're using it in a very smart and intelligent way. Look long term for all of you here. Plan long term. I said this yesterday, I bank on 2027. I don't have to rush it, but every decision has to come from power, and every decision has to come from, okay, it is necessary. I make this decision, and I also am okay with not seeing the results right away. So planning to join something in 6 months is not a good idea this year. Make no plans. Not after March, definitely not. Be existential and trust that really understanding your design means not thinking about the future and that you make decisions back then somewhere. No, it is about, okay, I follow my strategy and authority, and I make one step, and this is today. Breaking these things down so that you then shift your responsibilities slowly. This is way more sustainable and more successful when you make these smaller changes, but make consistent changes. And why things feel overwhelming is people make no changes, resistance builds and builds and builds, and then they go like, fuck, I don't have time anymore. And a lot of people now feel, fuck, that you feel the background frequency, the doors are closing, like another year is over. We're now in 2023. 4 years go fly by so fast. And the closer we go to 2023 will be the most pivotal year out of this nine-year cycle until 2025. And then there's just 2 years to go, and then that's it. So actually by 2025, you have to be, we will see a world that is nothing like it was anymore. So the thing is, I don't serve you to say, oh, you have time. I say, make really empowered decisions and be honest with yourself. But also for me is clear, I do not take any clients who are not fully clear about their authority and making decisions from it. Yes, we can feel scared and not knowing what's coming. I don't know what's coming. I just see the planets, but I do not know really how it's turned out. I cannot forecast the future. But plus I have splenic authority, so it's even more important for me to be present. Thanks for all the great insight. Yeah. So if you do want to make a step and feel drawn to what I say, and really make a difference, there are opportunities, of course, to receive guidance from me. And you find certain information on my bio. You can send me a message and invite me in a conversation. I'm a projector. Invite me. Yeah, you can ask me questions. All that, you can do that, but you got to do it. I don't pressure anyone anymore. I noticed that if I work with 3 clients until 2027 and don't make the million, I'm way more better prepared with these 3 people who are gonna make the millions afterwards than me wasting my energy with trying to make people move. I did that, and I'm not doing it anymore because I see what's coming, and I have channel. I'm tribal. I care. I have desire, motivation. I care a lot, and that is hurt sometimes, but it does not benefit my energy, and I cannot be fully present for the clients that say yes. And so I just come on here live and share this information, and what you do with it is yours. And my responsibility is to create these spaces at different levels. The club is a lower investment, the HG Lounge is a middle investment, and then my higher end containers are there as well. So it's for everyone. Everybody can make their move. You know what's correct for you. And if it's nothing, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay too. But your spleen is always saying, what is more healthy? So what is more healthy? It's not yes. It's like, is it more healthy to do this? Yes. Then that's it. Okay, I think we that was it. That were all questions. Okay. That feels good. Was there anything else that I want to say? Go back to 6 months ago, feel into what came up, like, fuck yes, I actually want to do this. Because last year was the year of destiny, and you still have kind of till March time to get on the right path. But even 21st of this month will be a big forward momentum where we will already see, like, if you now put offers out there, you got to have everything set up in your business to be prepared for the big things, and make one step closer. Get support, get guidance from someone who really sees you. Don't figure it out yourself if you really want the shortcut. And your authority, your body pulls you towards it. And when you hang out that long with me, there is something in it. And I'm always excited for everyone who joins my world. So I hope it served you. I wish you a beautiful full moon, and I talk to you soon. Bye.